Hello and welcome to News Prime on Global Television. The headlines: President Tinubu says insecurity threats to $1 trillion economy projection. Towards tackling insecurity, Governor Mai Mala Buni meets President Tinubu Gaydam in Abuja. On the foreign scene, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Turkey to address Gaza as well as NATO growth with Turkey's Erdogan. In sports, the Brazilian football legend Mario Zagallo dies at the age of 92. Welcome to News Prime. We're live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. You're with William Mofwebe. We begin by telling you President Bola Tinubu has tasked the nation's security chiefs to ensure that there is conclusive victory against the myriad of security threats assailing the country. Addressing security headsmen as heads of intelligence agencies during a presidential security briefing at the State House in Abuja, the president said while good progress is being made with the elimination of some security threats across multiple theaters, success will ultimately be defined by a final conclusion to the multi-dimensional menace. The president emphasized that the armed forces must deliver on its objective to ensure that the nation achieves a sustainable production of 2 million barrels of crude oil per day, including condensates, within the first quarter of 2024. In the meantime, Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni has paid a working visit to President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. Earlier, the governor had a meeting with the Minister of Police Affairs, Senator Ibrahim Gaydam, where they engaged in a detailed discussion on the security situation in the state. According to a statement signed by the Director General of Press and Media Affairs to the Governor, Maman Mohammed, both the governor and the minister acknowledged the improvements in security in the state, but agreed to explore avenues to further enhance the situation. On his part, President Tinubu assured that the government would do everything possible to ensure the safety and security of Nigerians everywhere. As the world seeks clean energy sources to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, President Bola Tinubu will join other stakeholders in Abuja to discuss the new energy world order. This is as the 7th edition of the Nigeria International Energy Summit holds between February 26 and March 1, 2024. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken Lopobiri, and Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekberikbe Ekbo, are also expected to be parts of the discussion. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has appointed Commandant Ahmed Abodori as the new head of the National Safe Schools Response Coordination Center. Commandant General of the agency, Ahmed Aoudi, made the appointment, replacing the former commander of the center, Teso Shepa, who has been redeployed. A statement by the public relations officer of the Corps, Babawale Afolabi, says Abodori is a trained and accomplished journalist prior to joining the NSCDC as a volunteer in 1994 and rose through the ranks. Federal civil servants have confirmed receipts of their October 2023 wage awards months after a temporary suspension of payments. Recall that the payment of 35,000 Naira wage award was an agreement reached between the federal government and the organized labor as part of the moves to cushion the effects of the removal of subsidy on petroleum, known as petrol. President Bola Tinubu had declared during his Independence Day speech that low-grade workers in the federal civil service would be awarded a wage of 25,000 Naira. The amount was then increased to 35,000 Naira following discussions with the organized labor. Some academic and non-academic staff members of the Kaduna State University have decried the non-payment of their salaries. The workers said they had yet to receive any salary since they were employed 3 years ago, as they were excluded from the state payroll. According to them, this was merely because of the university's inability to be financially autonomous following the integration of the institution under the office of the state head of civil service during the administration of a former governor of the state, Nasir El-Rufai. Some of the employees stated that they had also been denied access to the state health insurance scheme, as newly employed workers could not be enrolled in the scheme without their printed monthly pay slips. A consortium of Nigerian financial institutions, fintech and blockchain experts, the Africa Stablecoin Consortium, is set to launch a compliant Nigeria Naira stablecoin on February 27, 2024. The consortium, in a statement issued on Friday, said the launch of the CNGN is hinged on the new regulatory sandbox released by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. According to the consortium, the CNGN stablecoin would revolutionize financial transactions. Through the project, the consortium said it is committed to enhancing and securing compliant financial interactions, revolutionizing the way people transact and engage with their money securely and seamlessly. Let's take a look at other stories for you tonight. Chairman of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission is leading the partnership with the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, to combat corruption and illicit financial flows with the use of technology. The ICPC chairman, Musa Aliyu, led a crucial meeting with the leadership of NITDA, emphasizing the inclusion and integration of innovative technology in the fight against corruption and mapping areas of deployment of such technologies. The meeting also entailed discussions on forming a joint committee symbolizing an ongoing collaboration between ICPC and NITDA, which underscores the commitment to digital transformation as a constant process crucial for a proactive approach in the fight against corruption in the country. Let's turn to the country's north now, where Bauchi State's government has banned the issuance of consent letters to prospective mining investors in the state without clearance letters from Ministry of Natural Resources. This is contained in a statement by Saleh Umar, Information Officer, Ministry of Natural Resources in the state. According to him, the state government provides an enabling environment for the mining sector to thrive in the state by enhancing investors' confidence in the solid mineral sector. He, however, said that the move to ban the issuance of consent letters, according to the commissioner of the ministry, Mewada Bello, was to address the effect of environmental degradation and security challenges associated with mining activities. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Osun State Command, says its men arrested 252 drug suspects between January and December 2023. In a statement on Saturday in Osogbo, Osun State capital, the agency commander in the state, Chidi Nnamdi, said the suspects comprised 214 males and 38 females. He said the command secured the conviction of 57 suspects whose sentencing ranged from 3 months to 5 years imprisonment. According to the commander, 47 cases are pending in courts. He said that the command seized illicit drugs weighing 1,909.69 kilograms during the period. No fewer than 9 Ogun communities are currently experiencing power outage due to the drop in power generation from the Egbin Power Station. Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC, announced this on its social media handles. According to the IBEDC, Abeokuta, the state capital, is one of the areas affected by the Egbin power generation drop. The distribution company said its technical team was working with relevant stakeholders to ensure the restoration of power supply, even as it apologized for the inconvenience. Swift Shape, a military manufacturing company based in the United States of America, has donated 2 high-tech unmanned water vessels to the Nigerian government. The equipment is S2 and S3 Swift Sea Stalkers. The company donated during a recent visit by the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Metawale. According to a statement by the ministry's Director of Press, Ensho Ogubike, the minister had gone to the United States to inspect the facilities of high-tech military-producing hardware companies in Nigeria, presenting the unmanned vessels to President Bola Tinubu. The minister noted that the equipment would help to protect the maritime environment of the country as well as other areas. He stated that the equipment would be deployed to the Niger Delta, Lake Chad region, and other maritime regions of the country. You're watching News Prime live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When News Prime returns, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Turkey to address Gaza as well as NATO growth with Turkey's President Erdogan. The news continues shortly with these and other stories for you right after this short break. Please do not go away. This is Global Television, bringing you a live broadcast of the News Prime with Uyag Mofwebe. Let's take you to the foreign scene now, where no fewer than 110 people have reported dead 5 days after the huge earthquake struck central Japan. Rescuers and residents sifted through rubble on Saturday as the focus turned to recovering bodies and cleaning up rather than finding survivors. The death toll from the New Year's Day 7.5 magnitude quake in the Ishikawa region of Japan's main Honshu island was certain to rise, with 210 people still unaccounted for. The work of thousands of rescue workers has been hampered by bad weather. Snow was forecast for Saturday and Sunday, and roads were torn apart by gaping cracks and blocked by an estimated 1,000 landslides. Away from Asia now, the U.S. Supreme Court has said it will hear a historic case to determine if Donald Trump can run for president. The justices agreed to take up Trump's appeal against a decision by Colorado to remove him from the 2024 ballots in that state. The case will be heard in February, and ruling will apply nationwide. Lawsuits in a number of states are seeking to disqualify Trump, arguing that he engaged in insurrection during the U.S. Capitol riot 3 years ago. The legal challenges hinge on whether a Civil War-era constitutional amendment renders Trump ineligible to stand as candidate. The Supreme Court's decision to hear Trump's appeal came after attorney generals from 27 states filed a brief asking the court to reject Colorado's ruling. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's high-stakes meeting with Turkey, largely considered one of Washington's most unruly NATO allies, came on the first leg of a trip that includes visits to Israel and West Bank. Blinken's fourth crisis tour of the 3-month-old Gaza war comes with fears mounting that the conflict could engulf swathes of the Middle East. The State Department said Blinken emphasized the need to prevent the conflict from spreading during more than an hour of talks with President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The State Department further stated that Blinken stressed the imperative work toward broader, lasting regional peace that ensures Israel's security and advances the establishment of a Palestinian state. Let's talk some business. Dangote Petroleum Refinery has received the 5th crude oil shipments of 1 million barrels of Bonny Light supplied by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL. The company is already preparing to welcome the 6th 1 million crude oil cargo to the refinery by next week. This latest development is a significant step for the refinery as it is preparing to begin operations. The crude oil cargo, being the 5th consignment to be delivered to the Dangote Petroleum Refining facility out of the 6 million barrels of crude being expected, arrived at the single point mooring C2 Dangote Offshore Oil Terminal and has been discharged to the refinery's crude oil tanks. The Naira further gained against the dollar at the official market, marking the second gain in the new year. The currency appreciated 3% to close at 869 Naira, 13 kobo to the dollar at the close of business. That's according to data from the NAFEM, where Forex is officially traded. This represents 226 Naira, 1 kobo gain at its 3% increase in the local currency compared to the 895 Naira, 23 kobo it closed at the previous day. However, the Naira dropped at the parallel Forex market, where Forex is sold unofficially. The exchange rate quoted at 1,255 Naira to the US dollar, representing a 1.99% decline over what it closed at the previous day, while peer-to-peer traders quoted around 1,231 Naira 70 kobo to the dollar. The dollar death means speculative buying is likely to continue, with an increasing number of market participants taking long positions on the dollar while shorting the naira. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) has sealed off the illegal oil and gas stations in Taraba and Imo States. The agency said it is part of its surveillance, and its officers sealed a company identified as Seismo General Merchants Limited in Jalingo, Taraba State Capital, for illegally engaging in the sale of liquefied natural gas. And in sports, Brazilian football legend and the first person to win the FIFA World Cup as both a player and coach, Mario Zagallo, has died at the age of 92. Zagallo was as instrumental a figure as any Brazil's rise to prominence as a global football power. Zagallo, who died on Friday, was the only surviving member of the Brazilian team that lifted the 1958 World Cup trophy, the country's first title, and one that eased the pain of a traumatic defeat by Uruguay at the Maracanã 8 years prior. While that memory remained vivid, Zagallo would do his utmost to relieve the anguish by leaving his footprints on 4 Brazil's 5 World Cup triumphs. Let's bring it closer to home now. Nigerian midfielder Wilfred Ndidi will be out of action for at least 3 months due to muscle injury. According to Leicester City coach Enzo Maresca, it will take a long time before he fully recovers. The 27-year-old midfielder, who missed the Foxes Championship win over Huddersfield on New Year's Day, was also withdrawn from Nigeria's Africa Cup of Nations squad and has since been replaced by Alassane Yusuf in the squad. He is expected to miss 15 of the Foxes' remaining 20 league games this season. Indeed, he has been a consistent performer for the Foxes this season, making 24 appearances in all competitions, scoring 4 goals and providing 6 assists. As we end Global TV News Prime, a quick look at some top stories. President Tinubu has stated that insecurity poses threat to his government's $1 trillion economy projection. As part of effort to tackle insecurity, Governor Mai Mala Buni of Yobe State has met with President Tinubu in Abuja. On the foreign scene, we told you U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been in Turkey to address issues related to Gaza as well as NATO growth with Turkey's President Tayyip Recep Erdogan. In sports, Brazilian football legend Mario Zagallo has died at the age of 92. And that's it on News Prime, and it came to you here from the nation's capital in Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Wiagmo Fwegwe, thanking you very specially on behalf of the entire production team for spending a part of your time with us. We'll bring you several rounds of a news cycle tonight. Do stay with us.